Good morning, sunshine. My name is Sunny, and I'd like to welcome you to my very first makeup tutorial. I can hardly contain my excitement, okay? It has just been a long time coming for this. For me, I started wearing makeup when I was a teenager. I'm 30 years old now, so you do the math. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was just bored out of my mind like we all were. I started binge watching makeup tutorial videos, and then my love for makeup just grew and grew. My makeup collection just grew and grew. I started joining makeup groups on Facebook and whatnot, and finally, it just accumulated to this moment where I feel like it's time to share my joy and love for makeup with y'all. So we're gonna start simple with my classic I'm getting up early and going to work smoky eye. If you want to learn how I did this, then just stick around. And if you don't want to learn how I did this, bye. Come on, let me show you how I did it. Since this is my first tutorial, I'm just going to keep it fairly simple. I'm focusing on my go-to eye look. So I've got hooded eyes. I work 5 days a week at a chocolate shop. I get up pretty damn early, and so I've kind of mastered like a specific eye look that I feel is the most flattering for me, and I've had a handful of people ask how I do it, and that has finally pushed me into doing tutorials. I'm constantly giving people links for Wayne Goss, Alexandra Anel, telling people about Pat McGrath and her legend, and you know, by no means do I feel comparable to those people, but I've just realized, you know what, I could just be offering my own perspective as well. I've been dabbling in wearing makeup since I was a teenager. I'm 30 years old, but it was really over the period of the pandemic starting that I got into it and was like, oof, my collection exploded. I have over 100 palettes now. It's kind of insane and absurd, but I'm ready. I'm ready to share me with the world, or with whoever the heck is watching this, and I hope you enjoy. So without further ado, I've already got some eyebrows on, a little bit of complexion products on my forehead. I like to do my face forehead down for various reasons. We'll talk about that as time goes on. So first of all, I'm going to prime my eyes with the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion. This is a tried and true for me. I've got a bunch of different primers, but I kind of always fall back on this one. So, by the way, I'm going to do each eye. I'll kind of chit-chat while I'm doing my right eye and then speed up the left eye as we go. The Anti-Aging Primer by Urban Decay is really fabulous. I find that if I just put like a light layer of it on and blend it with a brush after I've kind of spread it with my fingers, that it dries down nicely. Well, I was saying something. That's part of this whole thing. Tutorials, right? I have to say stuff to you. So here we go. We're gonna go straight into the look with two palettes that are from my absolute favorite brands. They're not necessarily my favorite palettes in my whole collection, but they are my favorites from the brands. So first, Kimchi Chic Beauty's collab with Naomi Smalls. It is gorgeous. It's a very interesting color story. When I first grabbed this palette, I wasn't so sure how I felt about it, but it's really grown on me and I really love it. Then the 420 palette from Melt Cosmetics. This one is kind of like your grungy, earthy, yellowy, tones. It's mostly mattes with like one gold shimmer. So my favorite brushes lately, or ever since I acquired them really, are the Wayne Goss eye brushes. The eye collection is not cheap, but these are so good. They're not vegan. I feel like someone's gonna be mad at me about that, but yeah, the Wayne Goss brushes are lovely. This is a number 16. It's a like fluffy, tapered kind of blending brush, but I like to use it for all over color when I'm getting started for like my base color or transition shade. I know base and transition are not the same thing, but sometimes I just use one shade and think of it as both. So we're going in right now with the shade Savannah. It's kind of a dusty, almost light taupey sort of color. And I'm just going to spread that with tapping motions all over the lid, almost all the way up to my brow. So the next shade I'm going to go in with is called Hash, and it is from the 420 palette. I'm also realizing that I keep looking in weird directions because there's a mirror behind the camera and a mirror over here, and I've got a mirror down here too. So it's just like, so that I have different places to look. I'm not used to filming myself doing makeup. Forgive me if that's awkward. I'll try to give you some eye contact every now and then. So we're just gonna go in with this, kind of with a little tap-tappity motion, right above the crease. I guess this is what they call a transition shade. You know, I'm still learning. All of the lingo and whatnot, like, once upon a time was so incredibly irrelevant because all I was doing was just, like, having fun and just playing. So I'm figuring this out as I go. As you'll see, typically when I'm applying shadows, I try to keep my eyes open because I've got hooded eyes. And if I do a look with my eyes closed, then I'll open them up and like the look will just vanish into the depths of my eyelid caverns. So every now and then I close them, but for the most part, I try to keep my eyes open so I can see what the heck is going on. And I sometimes concentrate the looks a little higher than if I didn't have hooded eyes. And you'll see as the look progresses that there's areas that I kind of focus on because the eyelid is not a prime real estate spot for me. Okay, now that we've got the transition shade and the base shade or whatever those shades are called down, we're gonna darken up the corners and kind of bring that into the crease a bit with a shade called Roll It from the 420 palette. And the brush that I'm using for this is kind of this like slim, tapered brush from Wayne Goss. It's the Wayne Goss 19. I'm just gonna tap it along the edge, the outer third of the eye, while my eye is still open, and then do a little windshield wiper fantasy. Upward and circular motions, windshield wiping. Alrighty, so as I build this shadow, I raise my brows a lot when I'm doing makeup. It's just a habit. I know I'm forming these atrocious lines on my forehead, but you know what? It is what it is. We're all getting older, aren't we? So I will occasionally relax my face and even kind of furrow my brow just to see like where the shadows are falling, and bring the dark part of the outer corner up so that it can be seen regardless of how I'm emoting. And I feel like that's pretty important with the hooded eyes. Part of not losing all this work you're doing. You know, you don't want to do all this work to look gorgeous and then have it vanish. I wonder if looks go the same place that all missing socks go. So when you have gorgeous eyeshadow on and you open your eyes and it vanishes? Are there gnomes that are snatching the color away? I don't know. Next, I am going to color my inner eyelids with something bright and fun. Sometimes I'll do like a shimmer shade on the eyelid, but today I've actually decided to do a matte. And as a person with hooded eyes, I often don't do the upper eyeliner unless I feel like that is like a major important part of the look. I know some people kind of feel like eyeliner is a must or lashes are a must or whatever. You know, nothing is a must unless you think it is. So with my Sigma Sweeper E54 brush, this brush is a tried and true. They're so perfect. I've got several of them because I use it all the time. It's pretty dense. It's dense enough that like it picks up shimmer shadows really well. I picked a shade called Mohani from the Kimchi Chic palette. On the camera, it looks insanely lime green. It's a little bit less neon in real life than it looks on camera, but it is pretty bright. So just starting with tapping motions from the inner corner of my lid and working outward. I'm loving this color. It's nice. This look is like earthy, but I want to make sure that by the end of it, there's like a grungy sort of moody feel. My signature daytime look is definitely like interchangeable when it comes to the color stories, but at the end of the day, it's like a little bit moody. All right, so now that we've got the green on the lid, I am going to go ahead and do an inner corner color and a brow bone pop before I put on complexion products and finish the rest of the look. I am sticking with the Kimchi Chic palette and going with this cactus shade. It is so gorgeous. I mean, I don't know if it picks up on camera the way that it does IRL, but it's kind of a bright yellow shimmer that perhaps teeter-totters on being chartreusey. I like to keep a little bottle of e.l.f. setting spray on my table for wetting brushes. Just to give that shimmer color the extra pop that it deserves. I am doing the tap tap swipe motion here to apply this to the inner corner and kind of just softly let it meet the transition shade. I wonder if the tap tap swipe is closely related to the bend and snap. I am loving the way that this looks with the green next to it. Ah! She pretty? She decadent? Pretty decadent. My new memoir. Taking that Sigma E54 again for the brow bone moment. This time I'm not going to wet the brush. I don't necessarily want this to be as bright as it is in the inner corner. I just am using this essentially to kind of tie this together and give the brow bone a little pop. With tapping motions. Alright, and just to make sure there aren't any weird, harsh lines, I'm looking for my Wayne Goss 17 brush, which I did the transition shade with, and I'm just going to give some swiping motions to the spot where the inner corner color meets the transition shade, and do that up and out. Alright, up and out. So next, I'm going to just throw on some complexion products. It's good to be back. For me, it felt like forever. For you, it was instant. So jealous. Alrighty, so I have some complexion products on now. We're just gonna finish up this eye, and I am gonna throw on a lip today, even though lately I haven't really been doing lips because masks. But anyhow, so I like to bring the dark shade that I darken the corners with on a flat shader brush about, let's see, a third of the way in. And the flat definer E15 by Sigma Beauty is like my, I use this brush every single time I get ready. So it's, I don't know why I don't have more of them, to be honest with you. I guess I'm gonna have to change that. So I'm dipping into the shade Roll It from the 420 palette, and just touching up from the corner, tapping about a third of the way in, some swipes and some taps. Swiping and tapping, oh my goodness, sounds like a dating app. I hate those things. Alrighty, now that I have that outer third of the eyeliner done, I'm thinking of what shade I want to buff into it. But before I do that, I'm going to take a Sigma Exact Blend E23. This is another brush that I absolutely love and find myself using a lot. It's fabulous for blending out like specific lines, you know, instead of like bigger blending. I just like to swipe quick, just little quick swipey motions under. Sometimes if I see a line that's not like perfectly blended, I will kind of use my finger to smudge around it as well. I am a big fan of using my hands, using my fingers for all kinds of different purposes while I'm getting ready. Brushes are fabulous, but there's certain things that just the texture of the human flesh can only do. So I'm kind of thinking it might look nice to bring in green out here. So the question is, which green? I'm thinking there's a shade in the Kimchi palette called Spiked down here. It's kind of, it's almost mossy. It's a little brighter than a moss. Actually, you know what? There's all kinds of moss. Who am I to say what's bright and what's not? Sorry, moss. This is the Hey Shorty brush from Beauty Bay. So we're dipping into Spiked. Dip, dip. I'm just gonna gently swipe back and forth. Ooh, I'm really liking how that's bringing this together. Okay, so next, before I finish out the inside of the eye, I think I'm gonna throw on an eyeliner. I think I'm gonna do Moss Boss on that outer corner and then bring the kind of greenish gold one into the inner third. By the way, this is just like how I like to do my eyeliner. Everybody's got a different style. I like to not bring it all the way into the tear duct because it just allows my eyes to look a little bit more open and bright, and maybe it's a hooded eye thing. I don't know. I'm taking that, I'm reading upside down. Like, since when do I do that? It's an E32 Exact Blend by Sigma, the one that I was using earlier down here. And I'm just gonna kind of gently smudge that eyeliner into the shadow below it. I'm gonna take this kind of greenish gold color from ColourPop, the Wildcat, and bring that from where the Moss Boss ended into the inner tear duct, and hopefully that looks good. Some of these more metallic eyeliners definitely need light to give you the Shazam factor. As I'm looking at this, like when the light hits it, it's really pretty, but when the light's not hitting it, it's kind of shadow-like, like you can't totally tell that it's there. I mean, obviously you can see that there's an eyeliner there, but I think it's kind of fun. I like when makeup gives you pop moments depending on how the lighting is hitting you. Alright, so the last step in finishing my eyes is going to be this sort of inner corner and down. I like to do like something shiny. I almost always do something in the inner corner that smudges out that's very metallic or like wet looking. I think it's really pretty. I'm gonna have to think about this one for a second. Okay, it's been a second. I've thought about it, and I'm doing something I don't normally do. I am going to fill in that space with a matte shade, because there is a gorgeous matte shade in this 420 palette called Shotgun that's like neon pea soup, which sounds a little weird, I know, but it is like the color. I'm obsessed with it. And the last time I wore it all day, I was just like, hey there, Miss Neon Pea Soup. So this brush is from Beauty Bay. It's called Hide and Sleek. It's just kind of like a flat, smaller shader brush. That was not my favorite decision I've ever made, but we're gonna roll with it and we're gonna fix it. So I wasn't really thinking about the fact that that color and the color that I did out here are very similar. So we're learning together. I've done this many a time. We're gonna just blend those two colors together, and then I'm gonna take the color that was in the inner corner and just bring it down a little bit to give it a little bit of a glow. And then I'm gonna have a full-blown like pea soup smoky eye. Alright, so before I put on mascara, I'm going to go in with a little bit of my Pat McGrath under eye blurring powder and just kind of soften up the edges of that pea soupy color and see how I feel. See if the mascara is going to be the finished look or if there's anything else that I want to add to my face. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. I really like how this turned out. It's even better than I thought it was going to be. There was a moment where I was a little freaked out. I'm like, oh, it's my first tutorial and I'm leading the children astray. Nah, you know what? I gotta keep it real. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Some mornings I'm making mistakes at 5:30 in the morning and having to like quickly smudge and blend over things. You have no idea. Like I use concealer and just like try to use it as a magic eraser. Oof. Makeup is a wild ride. So my personal favorite mascara right now is from Thrive Cosmetics. This shade is called Crystal. It's like a brown black. Since I've got light skin and pretty light hair, my hair is actually dyed right now, but I like using brown mascaras. I think they're really nice and light, and yeah. When applying mascara, I always start at the root and twist and pull upward. Twist and pull upward. I try not to do the swiggly motion because it can cause clumping, and also my eyes are just really sensitive and I have a tendency to like panic blink, so the swipey motion and the rolling helps apply the mascara over the lashes evenly and minimizes that freaky blink thing. My lashes are not the most voluptuous lashes in the whole world. And also the hooded eye thing, as I mentioned earlier, I don't actually like to wear false lashes personally because I don't want to cover up any of the eyeshadow that I just put on. I wear them on occasion if I just want to do something simple that's lash centric, but yeah. Just do what feels right for you. I think I am going to throw on a lip and I'll be right back with the finished look. I might even put on some freckles today. Alrighty, I do believe we've got a finished look here. I had so much fun filming this video today. I cannot wait to get to know more of you and learn what people want to see, hear everybody's feedback. This was, as I mentioned, sort of like a simple face. It's something that I would wear to work, something I would wear to the grocery store, perhaps even to take the garbage out if I was feeling bored. But I hope y'all are staying safe, taking care of yourselves, drinking plenty of water, and I will see you shortly. I'm going to film another tutorial here soon and just get the ball rolling, because now I'm unstoppable. I hope you have a sunny and stunning day. It's gorgeous outside here. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but you know what? I'm sending you rays of sunshine. See you later.